Love is blind, and it'll take over your mind. Love is blind. Love is blind. That's a real song, right? Is that not like Mary J. Blige or something? I'd butchered the shit out of that.
I don't know that song if it is.
I swear to God, it's a Mary J. Blige song. Or not. If not, I just wrote it.
I love it. I think we should keep this in, whatever the answer
Whatever this
is.
Is it Eve? It's Eve. Sorry, it's Eve. Right era, wrong person. I'm surprised you don't know this song. Love is
Maybe
blind.
I do, and you just sing it weird.
I did actually sing it really weird. And it'll take over your mind. Love is blind. Love is blind. No?
Oh.
I sang it better that time.
You know, I went to a Rough Riders concert as a kid. It was like one of my first concerts.
As a child?
Yes. I mean, I wasn't like an infant or anything, but like, I mean, they had their heyday in 99, 2000. So however old I was then, I went to a Rough Riders concert.
Do you want to know what my first concert was?
Yes, desperately.
Britney Spears. It was
Of course it was.
Yeah.
Of course it was.
In the Zone tour. To be fair to me, I was a teenager. I don't know. I was like 16 or something. And I got the tickets for free because no 16-year-old has Britney Spears tickets money. I won them on the radio.
No.
And it was awesome.
You have really good luck when it comes to things like that.
No, I don't.
I don't know, man. We don't need to get into it, but I feel like you're hitting those golden tickets lately.
Okay, but you're also referring to something that happened like 25 years ago. That's not the right number. 20 years.
I've never won anything. Literally, like, I think I've won one raffle once. That's it. I famously, notoriously, I will put my name in the hat for something, and I have my entire life, and I never win, ever. So, like, for you to have gotten one of tickets on the radio, I'm like, that's fucking cool. Like, that doesn't happen.
Do you want to be really upset? Do you want to be really upset? Just a few months later,
won't upset me.
Well, just a few months later, I won tickets again, but this time to Blink-182.
Oh,
that was fun.
See, that's cool. Not that Britney Spears isn't cool, but like, to me, that's cool.
It's all cool. I had a great year.
It's all. That's a good fucking year.
So we should tell people why we're singing "Love Is Blind," or why I was, and why I was trying to tell you what it was. Well, why are we singing that, Janae?
Because we are going to jump on the bandwagon that is discussing Love Is Blind. But you know, we always try to do it within the lens of nostalgia. So we're going to also take a look back, not as complete deep dive, but just like hitting the highlights of things we remember from reality TV of yesteryear that dealt with love. Love Is Blind is definitely a new concept, but the idea of strangers going on television to find love, that ain't new. And I know some people are saying that Love Is Blind is the craziest, and especially this latest season 4. And while it is crazy and very entertaining, and we have a lot of opinions, we've seen crazier.
So much crazier. And it's interesting too, just, I don't want to get ahead of our conversation, but to think about people saying like, well, this is the craziest thing we've seen. And like, you said something like, what did you just say about going in blind or whatever? Anyway, it's like what I'm thinking of from our youth was the opposite of going in blind, because during our heyday in the early 2000s, everybody was competing to fuck celebrities.
And not even necessarily attractive celebrities. Flava Flav people, Flava Flav had dozens of women just clamoring at the bit for multiple seasons.
Someone spit on another woman over Flava Flav. Pumpkin spit on New York. I will never forget. I was like, you spit on someone over this guy?
That's what I'm saying. Like, we'll get there.
Y'all have no idea. Okay,
this shit is formative for us.
Oh my God. It was the golden age of reality television, to be honest with you. Like, nothing has ever topped that era for me.
No, I think it definitely mirrored kind of the wild, wild west of the internet that we were living in too. It was all because at the time it was like both of these formats, like the internet being really relatively young in the way that we were utilizing it, almost universally, and then reality TV being a relatively new format in the way that they were doing it at the time. There were no rules yet. So it was just like, fucking go for it.
Yeah.
It was wild.
And it's crazy because now I feel like all of the reality TV that we're getting, especially these dating shows, it's like all clout chasers who just want to make a brand for their social media. And it's so clear. It gets worse every season too. Like it's always the first season of whatever these shows are is a little more authentic because people don't know what they're really signing up for. But then once you get into the next seasons, everybody is clearly there just trying to make a brand, trying to make a name. But back in our day, that's not how it worked because social media wasn't as big. And Tila Tequila was technically like the first influencer who was on reality TV because they made an entire dating show for her based off of her MySpace fame.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's opposite.
No, I'm sorry. I was not enthusiastic, not based off of what you said. I completely agree with you. And facts are facts when we're talking about Tila Tequila, but she's a terrible human being. And
Cuckoo.
So that's beyond cuckoo, racist,
Neo-Nazi.
She's just, yeah, just fucking awful. But it's very true, that the rules were kind of established back then, and we could, but we're probably not going to do a full timeline to show the evolution of how these one thing led to another, led to another, led to another. Like we're not encyclopedias of this shit. It's just our lived experiences. But I think that what's cool about Love is Blind and also Married at First Sight, and both of those shows are produced by the same people. It's kind of a answer to a larger problem, and that's the more we become interconnected, with the internet, the harder it is to find real life connections. And I think that both of these shows try to, in their own way, try to strip down those barriers when we're talking about romantic love, and finding it. So on paper, Love is Blind and even Married at First Sight are things that I would be like interested in doing, not on television, but like as a single person, if there was a way that you could be like, this is totally safe and people are completely vetted and nobody is psychotic and nobody's going to be watching this and everything's going to be great. On paper, I would do it. Would you do it?
Fuck no. I was with my husband for 7 years before I said, yeah, let's go ahead and get married. So no, I'm not going in blind on anything and I'm not getting set up. And then the thing about Love is Blind, right? It's like, I like the concept of getting to know each other that way. And then, yay, you meet, but it's like way too fucking fast. There's no way I'm going to get married to someone I met 4 weeks ago, period. That's not for me. And I'm not judging anybody who does that. Like you do you, boo. But that is not for me.
I say that I would do it, and I think the reason why I can confidently say, like, not the show, obviously, but like some real world application of it. The reason why I can like say, oh yeah, I mean, I consider it is because I do not believe that I would make a connection with anyone in the pods. Like there's no way. There's no way that I would be like, oh yeah, I'm so in love with you. It wouldn't even go past that. So for me, I think it would be more like, yeah, I would go for the experience, but there's no way that this is going to happen. There's no way this is going to work. So there's no way I'm getting married at the end of this.
I have a hot take.
Because it's just, okay, go ahead.
You can't know if you're in love with someone before you know if their breath smells bad. That's just my take. Or if like they have a weird, funky body odor that you can't get past. Like, I think these are really important factors in your compatibility. Like when I smell my husband, I'm like, that's my man. I like his smell. But if I didn't like his smell, we would not be together. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's scientifically proven in many different studies that pheromones are real and people are attracted to one another's scents. So I think there's something to say about that 100%. Yeah.
I can't love you if
but
unless I know you have good breath.
That's what's funny about what you said.
But is it not
I'm
true?
sorry, I can't love you. I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, let's dive in on
Anyway,
this. Let's talk about these motherfuckers because this is a group of
mhm.
motherfuckers. I've never been less impressed with an ensemble from Love Is Blind, and I've watched all the seasons. You and I were there right at the beginning when that show dropped. We were like, "This is our show. We're
Yep.
gonna talk about it." Like season one. There's no Cam and Lauren here. Let me tell you.
No, there really isn't. And people are probably going to be screaming, "What about Brett and Tiffany?" Brett is weird. He's hiding something. I just feel it in my bones. And I think that Tiffany is just she's a lovely person, but I think that I don't want to say that she's desperate to get married, but she definitely gives off the energy that like she found somebody that she thinks is decent and that's good enough.
You think Tiffany just found somebody good enough and just settled because he was fine?
I think that in her experience in the pods, she found somebody who seemed like a pretty decent person and whatever they connected on, what have you. And she said that this is good enough. Like I'm going to say yes to this person. And she did. I don't think that unless actually, let me take a step back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know these people. We don't know these people. We don't work on the production team for this television show. We don't know what's on the edit room floor. So all of these opinions and hot takes are based off of what we have seen that they have put forward. And the editors for this show are notorious for chopping shit up. And oh my God, there's one scene that I'm sure we can talk about, the dinner scene with Kwame and Chelsea with her dad, the way that they
Oh,
edited that thing together, there was there's literal food on the plate that you can't control continuity with that. And the editor said, continuity be damned, I don't give a shit. You're seeing Kwame's salad be there, and then it's gone, and then it's back, and then it's half there. And it's like, what are
do you
y'all
want to know
doing?
something kind of funny? So
Hmm.
I have heard, and this makes total fucking sense to me, that the reason that they are so hell bent on those stainless steel gold cups is because they're
Yep.
opaque. So you can't see how much liquid is in there. And it's to help them not have to worry about continuity while also keeping them liquored up and drunk because everybody knows you're more likely to fall in love drunk.
Yep.
Love is drunk.
That's
They should just call this
100%.
show Love is Drunk.
Well, in the pods, it's like truly, they're drunk all the time and they're all constantly awake. That's why when Brittany, or not Brittany, that means
Tiffany.
it was me combining Brett and Tiffany. Their name is Brittany now.
It's Brittany, bitch. That's their couple's name.
That's their couple name. But when Tiffany fell asleep,
Yep.
the one thing that nobody pointed out is in the corner of the room, you can see that there's like a bottle of liquor that's just there as well. So she's like probably been awake forever, probably been drinking half the day, is sitting on this comfy couch listening to this soft man's voice or this man's soft voice. I don't want to call him a soft
You
man.
just
That's
called
not
him a
what I
soft
meant.
man.
His like very soft, soothing voice. Of course, she fucking fell asleep. Like that was so funny to me. But anyway, like getting back into this, let's talk about the couple. So we're already talking about Brett and Tiffany. There's Brett and Tiffany. They are being called the Cam and
Lauren.
what's her name?
Lauren.
Lauren. Thank you.
But see, I want to
They're
circle back on something about them because you said you know how editing works and that they would splice it up and make it look a kind of way with them. But I'm here to tell you that not only are they supposed to be the Cam and Lauren of this season, this is all the production has. So they're going to be trying as hard as they can to make us believe this love because this is the best they got this season and it's very meh. So the fact that
mhm.
like they're pulling out all the big guns trying to make us convinced that their love is as special as Cam and Lauren and we still don't feel it tells me they really didn't have much to work with.
Yeah, that's true. That's 100% true. Because if there was more compelling stuff there,
We
we
would
would
see
have
it.
seen it. My best friend and I have done some deep dives on this, and I came to the conclusion talking to them that I think that Brett is hiding something, and my best friend said that they feel the same way, and it's one of those things where it's like I don't know what it is. I cannot put my finger on it. I cannot tell you why I feel like he's hiding something. I just feel that he's not given 110. And I feel it from him more than Tiffany. I feel like if he was more open or giving more, then Tiffany probably would have been more open and giving more, because she seems like the one that is, in it for the experience. I have, again, no evidence, but I don't like
Yeah.
him.
I didn't get that vibe from him. I mostly just feel very ambivalent towards him. I think he can be sweet. Like he did that really nice thing. And obviously spoilers, you guys. If you're not caught up, I can't help you. You should turn this off right now. But he did that really nice thing with the
Yeah.
engagement photos for her, with that little special dinner when she was feeling
Yeah.
all like scared about the wedding, which is totally natural because y'all just met 2 seconds ago and you should be terrified, motherfucker. You should be so scared.
Well, she was saying she was stressed about the wedding planning and I was like, yeah, because, a month ago you did know this person and now you're planning a wedding.
Yeah. I mean, they seem nice. I don't really, what is there to say, right? Boring.
I don't know. I wish, I don't want to be right, but I feel like this is going to be an SK moment because I've had the same fucking
Oh,
feeling about
yeah.
well,
So
SK
did
was
I.
different. Like I didn't like what there was a bunch of red flags with SK, but once everybody was like, "Oh, he's so nice, he's so nice, he's so nice," I was like, "There's something weird about him. There's something weird about him."
Yeah.
And then we got the news. So I'm just saying, everybody be on the lookout because I knew it then.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
Let's talk about, we need to talk about Jacquelina and Marshall. And I want to read something because I haven't seen these before. I'm on the website that's like, who's all the cast, just so I can keep their names straight because I'm so bad at names. And they each on there have like a little
Mm-hmm.
blurb that's like their headline, their log line for being
Mm-hmm.
on the show. Fucking listen to Jacquelina's. I'm going to call her Jackie from now on because I'm not even sure I'm saying that right. Listen to Jackie's.
Yeah.
You're going to die. Hers says, I'm here to find my daddy and leave to start our lives together. Your face is saying a lot, but your mouth isn't. So I'm going to fill in the silence because I am so creeped out when women call their man daddy, like daddy, daddy. I don't want to fuck my dad. So like, that's
I
not a cute
don't.
thing for me.
Yuck.
Yuck, indeed. Ew, red flag.
Ew.
She's a walking red flag.
Stop it. Yuck. I hate that.
I
I
hate
hate
her.
that so much. I can't even describe it. She is not good. She is not. There's nothing good about that lady. Mm-mm,
Oh my God, let me read you
not
his blurb
good.
because it's very indicative of him. I accept that everyone isn't
Mm.
perfect, including myself. I was like, you're so fucking nice.
I like Marshall, but here's the thing. I question why he decided to go on a show like this. Like, he's so kind and good. So it's like, what was the motivation here for you? And if it truly was to find love, why did you think that this was the way to go about it? Number one. But number two, if it's anything other than to find love, are you really this nice of a person? Like, what is my question? And it may not be a fair thing to assess and to judge, but like, I think that it's I think that it's worth the question, right? You could ask what the motivation for any of these people going on is, but he is in the edit that he received and the way that he portrays himself. He is the nice guy. He is the poet. He's the dreamer, the lover. He just wants to make you pancakes with the compote and sprinkle powdered sugar on it for you in the morning. And it's like,
I want
okay,
that.
that's all of those things are I want that. All of those things are beautiful and lovely. But you also have to reconcile the fact that you're on a reality television show.
Yeah, but like my take on him is a little bit that I think he is one of those nice guys. And I mean, we saw it play out on the show. Nice guys finish last because women, a lot of women, and I think he's chasing the wrong women and he didn't learn his lesson on the show at all. But I think he's one of those like, I don't want to call him an incel because I don't think he's like toxic in that way, but the kind that always gets passed over for the bad boy. And I think he thought, well, if I do it this way, they'll fall in love with me first before they decide I'm too nice. And I'll already have that guarantee before they sit here and be like, You're Carlton from Fresh Prince. Because I feel like he gets pigeonholed.
That is the pure way to look at it. And my cynical self is very much like, are you, because we already said at the top of this, right? The people in the earlier seasons go and they're sincere. Maybe he never watched the show. Maybe that's the other explanation that I would accept. I will accept him as being the person that he was portrayed as without trying to do any clout chasing or anything like that. If he had never watched Love is Blind in the past, then I'll accept it. Because if not, it's I'm not saying that he was putting on a character. It didn't seem like he was acting, but I would honestly wonder, what were you trying to gain out of this? Outside of, because it was very clear that Jackie was not there to find love. And I'm not saying that's his fault. That's not his
She's
fault
there
at
to
all.
find a daddy.
Ugh,
You
so
know,
disgusting.
I wonder though if Marshall, maybe if he's not as nice as he seems, and I'm not saying he is or isn't, I don't know, but maybe if he's not as nice as he seems, he went on so that he could look like the nice guy. Because he did say one major red flag thing to her, and I was like, what the fuck? You can't say that. When she was like, why are you with me then? Because they were fighting, which was always, they were always fighting. And he was like, I saw you as a project. Ooh.
Yeah, that was hard. It wasn't just that he said that, but it was watching him clean up the comment and as quickly as he did, and how he finessed it back and said, he did kind of apologize. And he immediately was able to walk it back and see that he had said something wrong. I wonder what we didn't see. And I know everybody feels that way, but I always wonder what the cameras didn't catch, or what they did, but they couldn't fit it in and make it work for the story, or what, because I think there's something more there. I think that Marshall comes off looking incredibly sympathetic, and the world, really cares about him and loves him. And Jackie is not good. I'm not saying this in defense of anything that she does, but I don't buy it. I don't buy that. I want to know the motivation. Why'd you come on the show, dude?
Yeah, I mean, there are a few sus things about him, especially the fact that not only what I just said about what he said earlier, but the fact that when Jackie told him, like, I need you to be more of a man, which is like a fucked up thing to say to somebody. And she was like, you need
Yeah.
to be more aggressive. Like, I don't think her delivery was good at all, and it was should have been done different. But the fact that he left for 3 days is pretty
Right.
intense.
That's a bit of an overreaction. And
A
you
bit.
claim that you're there and you're ready for marriage. Although, did you see the text messages that came out
No.
that
What did they say?
Jackie's friends? So she had a group text with some of her friends, and she in it was talking about Marshall, and essentially was implying that he is gay. And
Yikes.
so I'm wondering if it was more than her saying, I need you to man up or boss up, and it was more attacking of his sexuality. I could see that being a line too far, and for you saying, okay, I'm going to separate myself from this situation. But for 3 days, you're just not going to talk to this person. You're not going to revisit it. And you're supposed to be getting married to this person in 4 weeks. Again, why did you go on the show? What was the actual motivation for you, bro? Because the math ain't mathin'. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm really happy to report there's just no way they're getting married since she has decided
Yeah.
she would like to fuck Josh instead.
Who is a complete
Dick.
ugh. Like, as viscerally as I hate the word daddy, I do not like Josh. Like, no, gross. He's terrible. For context, Josh is the person that she was also seeing in the pods with Marshall, and she ultimately chose to go with Marshall. And Josh is apparently super in love with her, and just had a really hard time opening up and telling her in the pods, and it was just so sad. So on Chelsea's, who is another character that we will talk about in a little bit, at her birthday party, the whole cast came together, and Josh decided he was going to show up and be just sloppy drunk. And he was going to meet Jackie because he just knows that she's the one for him. And he makes everybody very uncomfortable. He hangs all over Marshall and is kind of doing this like bro, like, hey man, no hard feelings. And Marshall's like, why would there be hard feelings?
He's like, because I'm gonna go after your girl. Hope you don't mind.
And Marshall at this time is just sort of like, I mean, okay. Because it's a drunk person, right? Coming at you and being with all of this energy. It's wild. Any rate, Jackie, this is the first time that they meet. And when Jackie, spoiler alert, breaks up with Marshall and calls the engagement off, she does this in the edit. It seems like she met with Josh. Josh is like, I'm in love with you. She's like, okay, great. Kiss, kiss, kiss. And then she goes and breaks up with Marshall. But she is now claiming that that's not the way that it happened, even though when she broke up with Marshall, she said, I just saw Josh. So whatever.
Well, the way they cut it made it seem like, and I'm sure that this isn't how it happened, but they cut it to make it seem like she skipped her dress fitting, or the event where all the women were picking out their dresses, that she skipped that to go meet him instead, which would be a huge slap in the face, but probably isn't exactly what happened.
Yeah, I feel like the timing is probably iffy there. It's probably not as what we depicted, but what she has said in because she's since this last chunk came out, she's been all over the internet, just being like, no, she's just been everywhere saying all this stuff that I'm sure contractually she's not supposed to be saying anything.
Whoops.
They will come for that bag, so you better shut your mouth, girl. She basically said that she had broken up with Marshall and then she had the conversation with Josh. But it's very clear that when she's breaking up with Marshall, what we see is Jackie says to Marshall, I just saw Josh. Like, I'm attracted to Josh. I was just with him. So was that not the first conversation that you were having when you broke up? Marshall agreed to come and have multiple conversations where you did him like that? I don't think so. So yeah, I can't wait for this fucking reunion, man. It's gonna be great.
Doing it live, aren't they? Because the ratings are so bad. Well, all right, let's move on to the next.
Is that why they're doing it? Because of the ratings?
Maybe. I heard that they weren't getting as good of numbers this season, which makes sense because it's like it's messy, but it's not necessarily compelling mess a lot of the time. Sometimes it's just that feeling of why are you here, which is not what you want to be thinking when you're watching the show. You don't want to be going meta, like, why are you here? Did you even care about this? You want to be like, oh, they're in love, but they're so incompatible. Oh my God. But just worrying about the meta-ness of it kind of just takes the joy. But all right. You want to talk about Micah totally and
Paul.
I forgot about him.
How could you forget? Because her dad's name is Paul, and that was a whole thing that
Chelsea and Kwame's dads have the same name too. It's like their dads are both named Roger or something.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're right. That's weird. Those are weird coincidences. For strangers when you think about it, like you didn't know. Why don't you take these ones since I talked so much about Jackie and Marshall?
Well, okay. I feel like I talked about them too, but yeah, Micah and Paul, I don't know where I stand on them. I really don't. Like, I think Micah is a clout chaser, most likely. And I just don't get the feeling from her that she is actually there for love. And I thought it was very telling that her friend took her aside when they met Paul and was like, you're not in this. And like,
her very, 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 very drunk friends should not have been on television. Yeah, her.
I think Micah and Kwame want to be together badly. And both of them are just pretending with their other relationships. It's hard not to talk about both of these relationships at the same time because they overlap so much. But I don't like Micah. I find her extremely unlikable, mostly because it started right at the beginning. I got such a bad first impression of her in the pods because she was the messiest one there other than Irina, who is the most messy person ever. She's like worse than Jessica, honestly. They're like drama whores, and they
Yeah.
put each other up to it. And Micah was like laughing and giggling with her, with Irina, at the expense of people crying over their heartbroken feelings. I don't like that at all. That's mean girl shit.
It's total mean girl shit. And I think that people, I think my impression when we go take it back to the pods, my impression of Irina and Micah was that they applied. So I heard, and I don't know if this is true because I didn't do my own research. There was a TikTok going around, and this creator was saying that if you go to Netflix and you are applying for the shows, you can apply for either you're doing one application for multiple shows, or you can apply for multiple shows on one application. So I think that Irina and Micah wanted to be on Love Island or something else, and then they got cast for this one, and they're like, okay, I guess fine. And I don't think that they truly were in it for the experience at all. I don't think that they just happened to land on a Netflix reality TV show, and it wasn't the one that they wanted. That's the way.
Mm.
And I could be completely wrong. Again, I get these feelings and I tend to go with them. I'm a Pisces. That's what we do. Because they just the whole time, like you said, they were laughing at people who are having really difficult conversations and having to end relationships, or who are trying to discern how they truly feel about somebody, and all of these things. They're just kind of rolling their eyes and scoffing. And even the ultimatum that Micah gives to Paul, not even the ultimatum, but when they
Yeah.
pre-decided, like, and she's like, Paul, when are you going to do it? How are you going to do it? When are you going to tell her?
Yeah.
Oh,
And they
come
were,
on.
and that's the thing, is they were both doing that together, because Micah did it to
Mhm.
what's his face? Zach. Is it
Paul.
Zach? No. Oh, yes, sorry.
Paul.
I said the wrong name. I was trying to say Irina did it to Zach. See, I'm mixing them all up. Irina did it to
Yeah,
Zach,
it's
and
okay.
Micah did it to Paul. And they both were sitting there like, you got to make your choice now. And they basically bullied them into choosing them or else. And I just thought it was so gross. And
Hmm.
also, the funniest fucking karma of this entire show to me is that, like, these two women are so competitive here and working so hard to tear other women down that Micah didn't even notice afterwards, when Irina realized, oh, Zach's not hot enough for me, that she now Irina wants Micah's guy. She wanted Paul. She's like, this is my type, actually. I should have gone for Paul. And they weren't even really dating in the pods. What a bitch.
Just fucking terrible. And
Karma.
so we're spending a lot of time talking about Micah, and I think that that is really indicative of how bland Paul is. I don't think he's bad. I don't think he's particularly interesting.
He's sweet.
I think he's very smart. It's very apparent that he's very smart. He seems like a good egg. Um,
I mean, of all
well,
the
if
men that are
you
in this part of the show, I'd probably go for Paul of all of them, because he seems the nicest and the most normal. And like, he just wants to go on a hike with a dog or whatever. And I'm down with that.
that is such a I haven't considered that question. Like, who of the guys, who would I go for? Oh
They're not a good
God.
batch, but I'm going to go with Paul. If you had asked me in episode
Yeah.
one, I would have picked Kwame episode one, but now he is my least favorite person on the show. So we'll get there.
Oh no, I never. Oh, I can't wait to talk about Kwame
I
because
was fooled by him.
no, he had flags on flags. You know what it is? I think it's a black people thing. We'll get
Um,
there. Um,
Too white to see the red flags.
no, I think it's a specific. We can talk about it now. I know
Yeah.
we're talking about Paul, but we can talk about it now. So when Kwame comes into the pods, in his initial interview, he talks about how he wanted to be in the experience because he's often been judged by the families of people that he's dated. And the way he phrased it, it was definitely a cultural thing, is
Mm.
what dog whistle, which is like, oh, so you exclusively date white
I
women.
was about to ask, did that
And
give you
then,
that hint right there? Because I didn't even clock
yeah,
that comment. I didn't think about it.
yep, that gave me the hint. And then the second thing that he did or said was, I think he was talking to Chelsea at this point in the pods. And he said that he was going to use his name Alex instead of Kwame because he didn't want to be put into a
Mm.
specific category. And it's like, oh, again, you wanted to make yourself more attractive to white people or to white women. So both of those things together, I think, to me, I was just like, I don't care. And let me make this clear. I do not care if you date outside of your race. I have dated outside of my race many times. I don't care, but I don't exclusively date outside of my race. And I think there's a difference. And I think that people who exclusively date outside of their race, be it Black people dating white people or white people dating Black people, like whatever it is, in my experience, I would say there's something that's pretty insidious and a social commentary that's like larger that you're making when you're saying, I am a Black man and I am only attracted to white women. It's like, why? And
Yeah.
usually
What
when you
stereotypes are
ask,
you falling into here?
exactly, and usually if you ask the question why, the answers are never going to be about what is so great about white women. It's going to be what is so bad about Black women.
Oh, fuck
That's the
that shit.
problem.
That
Yeah.
sucks. I hate that a lot. And I
Yeah.
see what you're saying with him now. And I
Mhm.
didn't necessarily pick up on it at first, though I did start to suspect it when he's just like sitting here worrying about these two white blonde women and as if they're not interchangeable in every single way, because they are.
I mean, he proved to us that they're interchangeable. Like to him, they are
Mhm.
interchangeable. And
Yeah,
that's fucked up. And if I were Chelsea, I'd have, but I have my issues with Chelsea. Let's
me
wrap
too.
up Paul. Paul is boring. That is the end. We're moving on to Kwame and
I want to
Chelsea.
go hiking with Paul.
Clearly,
End of that. He's
I
cute.
would not date. I would not date any of the men because I don't think I wrapped that question up either. I would not date any of them. So yeah, but so moving on to Chelsea and Kwame. So Chelsea, it's been really interesting to watch on the internet
Mm,
people's shift on her, especially with this last chunk of stuff that has come out.
really?
Because in the first two drops, people were like, Chelsea's queen, she's amazing, I love her. She's like so weird and so herself, and I love it. And now people are a little bit more like, oh, she's kind of controlling. Oh, she's kind of rude. She's kind of self-centered a little bit. And my opinion of her from the beginning was I didn't think she's a bad person
No.
at all. But there was something that something that she said in the pods where I was like, I don't know that she likes Kwame or if she's fetishizing Kwame. And it was because
Mm,
since day one, she's been like, he's so beautiful. He's so amazing. You haven't seen him. How do you know he's beautiful? What is he saying to you? She was talking to somebody on one of the couches and she's like, oh, my brain wants him and my pussy wants him or
yes.
something
Oh God, I remember
like
that
that.
part. Ugh.
Yeah. A- And I was just like, mm.
I'm sure. I mean, listen, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I'm sure it has something to do with the stereotype about Black men's regions. I'm sure that
Mhm.
that came into play because how do you know that you're, I don't even want to say the word you said. I hate that word, but I don't, but I do. But like, how do you know that she wants it? You know, you don't know. His breath might stink, girl. Bringing it full circle. His breath might stink. You don't know.
In that moment, I was like, she likes Black men. That's what I
And
was
that's
hearing. It was a
fine.
big old dog was, and that's fine. But everything that she did from that moment to now, it's, I know
Here's
you
what
haven't
I think
seen,
about her. I think she's a try
go
hard.
ahead.
I think she's a try hard, and everything that she does gives me try hard. The moment I saw her in the matching Calvin Klein two piece in Mexico the first time, not the funny yellow one with the hilarious photo shoot. That's iconic. But the first time I saw it, she's like lounging around in it, like I'm so nostalgic for Calvin Klein. Look at me. And she's just like the way that she immediately starts calling him like baby, 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 come here, baby, baby. So annoying. I'm like, you're just trying so hard. And there could be a part of that that's like, you want to make sure the world knows you're a good person because you like Black men. Stop me if I'm going too far with that, but
Like I said, I felt like she was fetishizing him. It had nothing to do with him. And I know so in episode 11, we're getting the first glimpses of the weddings. And up first, I guess, is Kwame and Chelsea.
yeah.
And they're like, well, why do you love him so much? She says something to the effect of like, he is the most talented, beautiful person I've ever met. And they literally cut to when he is playing guitar for her in the
No.
pods. Now, I need to just put this out. I didn't didn't watch that the first time because whenever anybody starts singing in a reality TV situation, I get so much secondhand embarrassment that I like it
Yes.
hurts me physically. So I just fast forward. So I fast forward through that. But this time it was like such an abrupt clip and I just didn't know it was going to happen. He is not talented. What is she talking about?
No, and he's like trying to write the song. I don't remember what the hook of the song was. It was like one line over and over, but he's like trying to write it in real time. It was so stupid, but not as bad as the guy from last season. I cannot think of his name. He was the Hispanic guy.
The guy with the ukulele,
Yeah,
right?
that one made me physically want to die. I literally wanted to crawl out of my skin when that one happened. The Kwame one wasn't as bad, but it was stupid. But it reminds me of something that I meant to touch on about Kwame because he is my villain of the season, period. So first of all,
Really?
yeah,
Interesting.
I don't like that man at all. He disgusts me. I can't explain it. I just have a very visceral reaction to him. But like, I was watching the episode where they were like meeting the family and he was like talking
Sal.
to
His name was
Sal.
sorry.
Yeah.
Sal. That was
Sorry.
it. Okay.
I was
Sorry.
watching the episode where Kwame was like meeting her family, meeting Chelsea's family. And
Yeah.
it was like the way he's like smiling and cheesing it. And when he's talking and they're asking him all these questions, he's like, yeah, I love the dog. The dog is so, I love that little fucker. Like, I'm not believing a word that he says. And I'm like, she dead ass does not know that this man hates her. Like, he hates her. That scene where they were shopping together and he's like, don't you have enough stuff? And he's like, yeah, you were all mean this morning and we got to talk about it. I'm like, this man hates her. There's no love.
Can we talk about how awkward that fucking scene was though? Because
So bad.
his whole body language is such that he's like, it's clear he wants to talk to you.
Mm.
And you are literally force feeding him strawberries, chocolate covered strawberries, and asking him to feed you a chocolate covered strawberry. It was so uncomfortable. And I was like,
Bad.
it begs the question, how much alcohol are these people consuming? Because the only way I can understand how she was that oblivious was she had to have been shit faced because what
He did.
it
Well,
was
see,
so
the thing
weird.
is with Kwame, I feel like the more that he's smiling and beaming, actually, the more upset he is and the more hateful he's feeling. So it's confusing because I think he's like beaming at her, but it's with hate. And she doesn't know that because what he's doing isn't a normal human thing to do. You don't sit here and be like, ha, 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 you know, light up your face. But what you really are feeling is like, I want to fucking kill you right now. But that's what I get from him.
Yeah,
Can we also talk about the fact that he went on a dating show in Seattle where everybody is from Seattle and he's the one person from Portland and now he's pissed off that he needs to move to Seattle to be married to the woman where he came to her fucking city, met her and was like, JK, this isn't where am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to do? I'm a remote worker that can do anything I want, but this isn't comfortable for me. Also, they never talked about whether they wanted kids. They didn't talk about shit. What did they talk about in the pods? Sorry.
That's another reason why I'm like, what? No, I
hate this man
because
I hate him.
I hate them as a couple. Trust me, I do not like him at all. I think that he's oh my God. The other thing that I don't know if you saw, but he was seen in the background of footage from, I want to say, the DC season of Married at First Sight. So he's been on a crusade to be on one of these fucking shows forever. Like, he was really having bad luck.
But even after years of trying to get on the show, his mom still isn't on board.
I understand. So I'll guess a little background. I've worked as a producer and production coordinator in the past. So I understand and you have some industry experience as well.
Yeah.
I understand how releases work and all of those things. And sometimes people don't want to be on camera and what have you. But like that was the fakest fucking phone call that I've ever seen. There was no one on the other end of that phone. It was not them just blocking out her voice or whatever. It was almost like they said, take the phone in the other room and do a reenactment of how this conversation would have gone.
Mm-hmm.
It was so weird.
Well, and then he says later that she won't answer his calls. So I think it's pretty clear they didn't talk.
Oh,
and then Chelsea's just like, I'm so sorry, baby. That must be hard, baby. You okay, baby? Sorry, I just hate them. Together. I hate them
When,
together.
yeah, they're just the worst. When you get to the wedding, though,
Yeah, I'm a little behind.
his sister does end up showing up,
Oh, good.
and his sister and his brother-in-law, and his sister seems like the coolest fucking person. Like she seems dope as hell, and it's like, why is she so cool and her brother sucks so fucking much? But she's very welcoming, very warm to Chelsea. Chelsea, is it's so weird because when she walks in the room, when the sister walks into the bridal suite, like they're all dressed and everything, and she sees his sister for the first time, and she just starts this blubbering cry. Like she's just like,
Really?
yeah, it's like a lot. And then they embrace, and she's just like, the sister's just trying to have this really cool, normal moment with her and say, like, oh, you look beautiful, and I'm so excited, and here's a gift for you. And Chelsea's just like, embrace me. It's very theatrical. And
She's fake. She's a tryhard. That's what I'm saying.
it's very indicative of trying hard. Yes, we can talk about those two for
I
days. I feel like
I
we've
could do a
got
whole episode on them.
there. It's wild. I knew that they were going to leave it on a cliffhanger, but I hate that they did, because I just want to know. We got 2 days. We'll know in 2 days.
Yeah.
Although I did see spoilers, so I
No,
think
don't
I
tell me.
kind of already know. I'm not going to. I would never do that to anybody, because I did it to myself.
I will say this
Um,
though, if they do get married, what's Chelsea gonna do when she sees that stuff from the pods get played back and see that Kwame actually wanted to propose to Micah that night and that he was about to do it, and then Micah broke up with him because apparently they were going too hot too fast and Micah wanted a slow burn, and then he just settled on Chelsea. Like, I don't think she realizes how much he settled for her.
I mean, I think regardless of if they get married, that's going to be really fucking hurtful to see.
Yeah.
And I mean, at least from what we saw, they never had a conversation about it. That kind of
It-
brings us to Bliss and Zach. Like, at least Bliss knew that she was a second choice and could make herself, choose to opt in. But Chelsea didn't know that she was a second choice and that she was that close to not having her fairy tale or perfect man, because
Yikes.
somebody else would have had her
So, okay,
or
Bliss
had
and
him,
Zach,
excuse me.
we just quick for anybody who wants a recap on them. Zach actually proposed to Irina, who is the female villain of this season, in my opinion, and she pretty much manipulated him into doing it. And I feel like he buckled under pressure, even though Bliss was always the better match for him. And she was just like manipulating the shit out of him. And then the second they got to Mexico, she turned it off because she didn't feel like he was hot enough or whatever. And she was immediately cold and distanced from him the whole time. So they broke up. He met up with Bliss, and then their chemistry was so much better. And then he proposed. Now go. What are your thoughts?
Mhm. That was a great wrap up, and so fast. I don't really have a problem with them. I don't have a problem with it. Wouldn't be me. I'll put that out there. If I were Bliss and you chose somebody else after I told you about how big of a bitch that person was and
Yeah.
how awful they were, and you still made the decision to be with them, to Bliss's point that she made, this is a test for me, and I'm looking at your judge of character as well. That's poor judgment. And he never fully gives an explanation as to why Irina was the one over Bliss. So for me, I would have been like, nah, son, we're good. We're good here. But that said, I don't care that they ended up together. I think it's fine. If she's happy and in love, then, fine. I think they're both very strange people. They're
Yeah.
very weird.
But I like her. Of all the girls on this season, like if I had to marry one of them, I would pick Bliss.
No, she's too intense for me. I'd be like, you need to sit down. You know what? I think it would be Marshall. Going back to the question of the
Well,
guys, I
I was
think it
picking
would be
from
Marshall for
girls.
me.
If it was
No,
girls,
I
I'm
know.
picking
I
Bliss.
I was thinking through this entire time, because I was like, I don't know. I wouldn't date any of them. I think I could deal with Marshall. I just would want to know what his motivation was. He would be my dude.
Yeah,
Because
but
I think
after what you said
I
about
think
Marshall, I'm starting to think he's a more manipulative than I thought.
I think he might have been, but I think I could deal with that over. And I'm thinking about every other one of them and the downfalls and pitfalls of all of the rest of
Yeah.
them. No, I hate all of them. And I don't hate Paul, but Paul is just so fucking boring that I'd be like, dude,
I want to circle back on Zach and Bliss because we left something. I just realized you said
yeah.
that Zach never really gave an explanation for why he did what he did, but he did give one. It was just really subtle, and I actually really understand it. Not that I think it was the right choice. First of all, Irina, I
Oh,
think she was a manipulator, and I really got that feeling from her that
yes.
she was selling him on a vision that was not real. And so we were seeing two different people, and he was only seeing the one. So I kind of get it. But
Hmm.
he, okay, Zach, his mother was a stripper and like really busted her ass to make ends meet for them. And he's like got this rags to riches story,
Oh,
right? And he came up from nothing, from the love of his stripper mom, and then she fucking died, and then he made himself into this something. He made himself into a lawyer, and I could see why he would think somebody like Irina, who was way more out there and like whatever, big fake boobs, and oh my god, like why he thought she would be more accepting of him and his background and understanding of that stuff than Bliss, because Bliss is very put together and she's also very analytical and prim and proper, and her family has more money and they're like that too. And he said something like that. I was concerned that I wouldn't fit in with you guys and that I would be judged for my background. And so that actually makes sense to me.
yeah. I completely forgot about that. And you're absolutely right. I totally forgot about that situation outside of the pods. I think I personally think that Zach is a sweet person.
Mm-hmm.
I
He's
he's
weird.
strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an oddball, but I think he's very sweet. And I think that if he and Bliss get married, I think that they'll be happy. I don't see any major red flags that would indicate that they wouldn't be happy. I don't know. That's all what we see in the edit.
I want to do like a vote. I want to go through each couple and let's say if we think they're going to get married or not, like and what the ultimate outcome is going to be for them. So I guess we start where we started at the beginning, which was,
Yeah, it was Marshall and Jackie, which obviously we know the outcome there.
oh, no, it was Brett and Tiffany. Yeah, Marshall and Jackie, we already know. So we can skip them. They're not getting married because she's already moved on to a different dick. So
Yes, she did. To
Brett
her
and Tiffany.
daddy.
Ew. Oh, I hate that so much. Freud would have
I
a
think
fucking
they're
day with that.
I think they're going to get married.
Yeah, me too.
And I think that they're going to let's do it this way. Let's say at the reunion, do we think they're going to be together?
Mm,
Because and you can expound on it. So at the reunion, I think that Brett and Tiffany will be together 100%.
me too.
Yeah.
I think they're the only couple that I can for sure say, like, I don't have any doubt that they'll be married and be together.
Yeah. I think that they're going to be together. I think that we also need to keep an eye on them because there's something weird about Brett, but that's just my personal opinion.
I'm a little
Who's
strange
next?
about that one. The next one would be Micah and Paul. Ooh, this one's a toss up for me
Ooh.
because I think Paul has the intent of saying yes. I'm not sure about Micah.
So did you see the teaser where she says she's going first and she's like, no, I think I would rather I want you to go first. Like there's definitely a teaser for their wedding. I don't know if it's
Oh yeah, I did see
I
that.
don't it's yeah.
Didn't she
So
say something like, I want you to go first so that you have the option to say no first or something? It was something weird like that.
something it was some weird way that she phrases it. So I think that if Paul says yes, she'll say yes. But if Paul says no, well, it won't matter what she would have said. I think that behavior is kind of a cop out situation, right? Where she's like, I want to give you the opportunity to go first. I think that that's because also a thing that they've throughout the season that she's been saying is that he isn't very decisive. And it's not a
Mm.
major thing that she's been saying, but it's been one of those things where she's subtly saying it and, making subtle nods. And especially when they're talking about where they're going to live and all that stuff.
I have a different
So,
take though.
yeah.
I think
What
what
do
you
you
said
mean?
is valid, but I think she's telling him to go first because she doesn't want to be the one to say no. She would prefer him to break it up because she seems like kind of people pleasery and she doesn't want to be the villain of the season. And I think she knows that. And she's thinking of the PR of it all. And she's like, I don't want to be the one that breaks his heart at the altar. I hope he will break mine so that I can be the sad bride and never have to say.
I think I think she's gonna say yes. And I don't know
They shouldn't.
if we're asking the question, are they going to be together at the reunion? That is debatable. I think that once he sees how terrible she is in the pods, because he at this point doesn't know, but like now in real timeline, I
Ooh.
feel like that might change things. But I think she's gonna say yes, and I think he is too.
I'm torn
But I
on
do
them,
not think they're
honestly.
gonna be
I could see
together.
it either way. I could see it either way. I don't think that
Oh, I
they're in
can't wait
love
to find
though.
out. I think that
Um,
they really like boning, and that was very clear from the vacation that they took. Like,
but see, I think Micah really wants to be boning Kwame. And I feel like if she found out that Kwame was going to say no at the wedding, she would say no too, so that they could get together after.
I think that if it were the real world and they had met, like she wouldn't have looked at Paul at all, and she would have been with Kwame. But like, I think that that ship has sailed. I think that they are
Mm.
definitely attracted to each other, but I don't see them running off into the sunset with each other, and I don't see her even wanting to because she is very much about optics. I think that's indicative too. After the first 3 episodes aired, she was getting so much hate and backlash on the internet. People just being like, Micah's the worst. Irina, like Micah and Irina, like the mean girls, issued a statement apologizing to people, being like, I'm sorry that my behavior triggered, you know, you. And, I won't say it's the best PR
Hmm.
apology that I've seen, but it was an apology. And then she kind of just went away. There is something a little bit more sensitive there that she
Hmm.
just didn't really show. She wouldn't want the smoke that would come back on her if she was like, I'm leaving you, Paul. And guess what? I'm going with Kwame. She's not Jackie. she's
Yeah,
not
no, she's not.
she's not
And
built for that.
she's not even the worst villain that the show's ever seen or anything. So it's
No.
certainly not
She's not
one.
even as bad as Jessica.
I was going to say the exact same thing. Not as bad as Jessica, who, by the way, I want to shout out here for a second. Jessica has gotten so much shit since her time on that show, but she really grew
Yep.
the fuck up and she really did try to apologize for
Yep.
everything. She took accountability, she took responsibility, and they still wouldn't forgive her for what really wasn't that big of a fucking deal to begin with. When you look at the fact that, like, none of those people knew each other more than a month when all that stuff was happening. And I want to shout her out because I think she did an amazing job of trying to come back from that really negative PR experience. Yay, Jessica. No longer Messica.
I agree. I no longer Jessica. I think that oh God, what was the girl?
Amber
Amber.
and
Uh,
Dude Bro, Matt Barnett. Barnett.
so this is season 1.
Yeah,
We
best
just jumped
season.
from 4 to 1. Yeah, definitely go back and watch season 1 if you haven't seen it. But for quick context, Barnett was dating Amber and Jessica in the pods. He ultimately chose Amber. Jessica was very upset about that. She came to a bunch of events and was like trying to flirt, or she ended up engaged to somebody else.
Mark.
Was that a bunch of Mark? That's right. That's right. Was engaged to Mark. Came to a bunch of events, but was kept hitting on Barnett. And she would be like very sloppy drunk while this was happening. It was very awkward and comfortable. At the end, she ended up breaking off her engagement with Mark and like leaving the show. But then in subsequent reunions and catch ups and updates or whatnot, she, to what you just said, has shown growth, apologized, tried to make amends, tried to move forward. And at the final coming together of the season 1 cast, Amber basically all but cussed her out, more or less. Like, it was really ugly, and she wouldn't allow the space to recognize that this has been 3 years had passed at that point, and this is a whole different woman. And Amber was still just so pissed, and Barnett was just like, I can't really be around you because my wife doesn't like you. And it's
Poor
like, it's all
Barnett.
water. He's a
He's a
sorry.
pushover. He's a
That's
pushover. And like Amber is a mean girl and she's super insecure and she took it out on Jessica. But good for Jessica for keeping her head up and like acting with class after that. I just applaud you, girl. I'm here for you. I stand
yeah.
now. Love you. But anyway, back to we got to circle it back. We're okay, season 4. So we are now at Chelsea and Kwame. Or is it Kwame? I've been saying Kwame. I thought it was Kwame this whole time.
You've been saying
Kwame?
Kwame. I've been saying Kwame. I don't know. I don't care. I don't like him.
So what do we think? I mean, I think for sure Chelsea's saying yes. And also I think they showed her saying yes already, right?
Yeah, we know she said yes. He's just standing there looking like he's gonna vomit. It's just really bad.
I don't think he'll say yes. I think he's going to say no because he's a mama's boy and his mama's not even there and isn't supporting it. There's just no way. And he doesn't want to fucking live in Seattle where she lives, where she doesn't want to leave. I don't think he likes her dog. I don't think he likes her face.
I am really upset that you haven't seen the wet. Can we pause so that you can just watch that bit, just the last little bit where she does her vows and he does his, because he doesn't prepare anything.
We are gathered here this afternoon to share with Kwame and Chelsea.
Kwame,
very
shit.
significant moment in their lives.
I hate these flower earrings she's wearing.
Marriage is a commitment to life.
So bad.
They're awful.
People can find
fucking
and bring out in each other.
Discount Carrie Bradshaw shit.
It's the greatest and most challenging adventure of all human relationships.
That's the best description of forever.
Marriage is
Discount Carrie Bradshaw. Should have led with that.
You were the jaguar to my moon. I am the moon to your jaguar.
What?
I love you.
I have no idea what the fuck
what does that
is.
fucking mean?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
The jaguar? Do jaguars howl at the moon? I'm missing something.
I have no idea, but you have to listen to this bullshit that he says to her.
Okay.
I love the sound of your voice.
No, you don't. No, you
the way you
don't.
make me feel.
Liar.
I love when we disagree
He's acting.
because it makes us come back together and let us know how strong we are. We get stronger
He
by
has
the
the
moment.
fakest smile, you can tell.
We get closer by the day. And the reason I did not need to write anything is because I will be able to tell you right now how I feel. And that's not something I can write down. I fell in love with your beautiful soul in an opportunity where I didn't get to see your absolutely incredibly stunning shell. And I just cannot believe that I'm fortunate enough to stand
This brother's cute.
across from
Or
somebody
brother-in-law, whoever the hell that
who
is.
is as captivating as you.
But he looks like he's about to say yes.
Inside and decided to get married.
He spoke from the heart.
Now
He said nothing. Those are not vows.
Well, it's true. Yeah. He actually was like, I didn't need to write anything because I know how I feel about you. And then proceeded not to really say how he felt about her.
He said, I didn't have to write anything down because I know how I feel about you, and I wouldn't be able to write anything down about how I feel about you because
I don't feel
can't put words to that. And I just think that you're really beautiful inside and out, and like this is really dope. Party on. So when you ask me, is he gonna say yes? He shouldn't, but I think that he is so deeply entrenched in the scam of it all right now that yeah, he's gonna fucking say yes.
I think Kwame might say yes now after seeing that. I think he might say yes because he wants the Calvin Klein sponsorship.
He wants those ad dollars, baby.
I mean, listen, I will, to be fair, she did look good in it.
Both of them, their bodies are banging. Those poses that they were in were just, it was so intimate and we didn't need to be a part of it.
Why was he kissing her stomach like there was a baby in there or putting his head on it?
It's
I'm so uncomfortable.
Like I said, it's just, the secondhand embarrassment makes me want to literally fold into myself and to make myself into one singular cell. I couldn't, half of the time I was not even watching what they were doing, but like the intimacy was just too much. I was like, no.
Oh my God. When me and my husband got engaged and married, both times people asked us to kiss in a photo. And I said, no, we're not doing that. We don't do that. We're not kissing in a photo. That's not fucking attractive. I don't want it. It's too intimate. It's none of your business what we look like when our faces smoosh.
But I really want to see.
You'll just have to join in.
I am your unofficial wife. Or no, I'm his wife. We're sister wives.
We are. It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful relationship. That is all a joke, by the way. It's a running joke that we've had for years. So please.
Or is it? It's a joke. It's a joke.
We'll never. I don't think they're going to be together at the reunion.
Me either.
If that's any consolation. I think if they are together at the reunion, we are going to see such a like beat down and broken Kwame because she is going to destroy his life because after she sees that shit with Micah, she's going to destroy him.
There's
and
honestly as
like,
much footage of them together, him and Micah. There's as much footage of them flirting as there is of him and Chelsea having any kind of actual conversation about their lives.
Yep.
It's gross.
That's upsetting.
I think he spent more time in Mexico with Micah than he did with Chelsea. But yeah, who's next? It's a last but not least, or maybe it is least. I don't know, depending on how you feel. Zach and Bliss, which I think they're both going to say yes.
Oh, I think so too, and I think they're going to be together. I think that they're going to be together at the reunion.
Yeah, me too. And I think it's an easy answer. Have I seen him?
Mm-hmm. He's been posting on TikTok, just like random videos and things, but he's sporting a full beard now, and the Property Brothers have acknowledged that he is basically the third one because he really does look like
them. Yeah, I didn't realize who he was reminding me of, but it's them for sure. Yeah, I haven't seen any of them on socials because if I see their faces, I scroll past because I was behind until today.
Oh, okay.
I was way behind.
Yeah, no, also, I don't sleep. So as soon as it drops, I basically know. I'm like, let's watch it. It's very good. It's not as good as past seasons, for sure. Season 1 is definitely the best.
By far.
But when it comes to shooting the shit and thinking about problems that are not your own for like an hour, it's fucking fantastic. I love it. I hope they never stop making the show.
Yeah.
As terrible as it is.
Me too. I mean, it is a little bit of a schadenfreude factor for me that I love watching a hot mess just completely hit the rails. I'm sorry. That is a bad quality about myself that I'm not proud of, but I do enjoy a fucking clusterfuck. Love it.
Yeah, I love it.
I don't want to be in it.
I love it. No.
And don't come to me with your clusterfuck.
I purposefully keep my life my footprint is so small and there's no drama. There's never, the most drama that I have has to do with like family members who bring me into their stuff. So it's a lot of fun to kind of dip your toe into stuff like that. And I think that kind of do the tie-in to original messy TV. I think that's why reality TV has endured and continues to. No, we didn't do a super deep dive into the nostalgia factor, but like we loved Flavor Flav because it was wild, or Flavor of Love, excuse me. It was wild to see all of these women clamoring, spitting on each other, doing ridiculous challenges. What was her name? The one with the big eyes when she like made the chicken, but she just put it in the microwave. Like,
don't remember. I don't remember her name, but I remember the act. That was so long ago.
Yeah,
I really only remember New York and Pumpkin in terms of name, and then Hoops. I loved that show though. The fact that he couldn't remember their names and did not want to bother to remember their names, so that he gave them bad nicknames that they had to use for the whole time, is the funniest shit to me of all time. So demeaning.
And the thing that Tiffany Pollard, aka New York, has kept the name New York and has done like television commercials. She's done television shows. She's got a whole career off of being on that show. And then of course I Love New York, where she did the same thing to men. She just gave them random names.
Did you know that like the runner-up, it was either the runner-up or the third runner-up of one of her seasons ended up murdering his girlfriend and putting her in a suitcase and leaving her in a dumpster in Vegas and getting caught? And I think he might have killed himself. I'm not positive on that, but he definitely murdered his girlfriend.
That is not, I was nodding because I thought you were going a different way. No. I did not know that. I thought you were going to talk about Chance, I want to say, who passed away recently from cancer. Was it Chance? So I guess when we're talking about the future of reality TV, let's put our master television writing skills hat on. What do you think would be a fun premise to kind of evolve the space? What's the next Love is Blind
What do I think is the next iteration of dating? We're taking it way too far already, so we might as well take it as far as we possibly can. And we got to do a crossover with Squid Games and Love is Blind. It's got to be a like all or nothing, you die if you don't end up married in the game reality show. I'm in. It's going to be like we're revitalizing gladiator times. Let's do it.
That's fucking ridiculous.
I don't think that's actually it. I don't know is the real answer, but I thought I'd give a fun answer.
No, I know. I like it. I like it. I think that dating has been such a, especially in Western culture, it's such an individual situation where, you know, it's a personal choice. It's you choosing a person and then bringing that person to your family and hoping that it works. And I wonder if we flip that on its head and we take more of a Eastern approach or, you know, Latin approach where the family is more involved with the relationship from the beginning. So not date my mom style, because I know that was a reality show or you to like the person would take almost like a arranged marriage kind of.
I was about to say this show exists. It's called
style.
Indian Matchmaker and it's really good and I like it a lot. Did you watch Indian Matchmaker?
I've seen episodes of it, but I think maybe this is a question. Does the family become more involved? Because when the episodes that I saw was the person was still involved with the matchmaker and was still a part of that. And I'm thinking more along the lines of my mother and whoever I elect to find the person for me. They are the person doing all of the vetting. And like, however it works, I don't know, this is a fictional thing, but like, I am not involved at all. And the family, instead of the reveal being the reveal, it's kind of like Married at First Sight, but the family knows all about the person. You know what I mean? So it's like they elect people, and then like they have to do some intermingling or whatever to make the match. And then we get married. And then it's like, oh, if this is bad, mom, you fucked up. Like,
okay, I like this idea, and I think we could broaden it. So Netflix, if you're listening, we will produce this show for you. We're clusterfucks. We got this.
Yeah,
I think you can broaden it, and it can be like an arranged marriage show. But you, as the person who's going to enter the show, you get to elect who's arranging. So if you have like a best friend that you're like, she knows me better than me, or whatever, you can say the best friend is in charge. But that you do have to actually marry them and like do all the things. And if it's your mother, it's your mother. But yeah, I think that's a cool idea. And then that would allow, with the freedom of that would allow for different cultures to participate in the way that they feel comfortable.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that the way the negotiations happen, it's literally everything that you would see, but it would be the people that you put forward going and if it's whether it's living in a house or like going on a vacation or whatever the thing to bring all the people together is, but they're the ones negotiating the relationship. And then at the end of whatever period of time, you're there in a fucking dress and that person's there too, and it's like you're getting married. Yeah.
I just had an idea for a new dating show. Okay, so hear me out. It's an AI dating show, but you don't know who's AI or not. So it's kind of like Fuckboy Island or F-Boy Island, as they call it.
Oh.
But like you're dating virtually and you have the avatars or whatever, and you don't know whether who you're talking to or not is an AI generated person.
That's like The Circle. Have you watched The Circle?
Yeah, but they're all real people. They might be catfishing you, but here I'm talking about like you might not be talking to a human. And at the end of it,
That's cruel.
You could fall in love and feel like you have a future, and then it's not even with a person. It is cruel. I don't know why I'm lighting up this way, but the idea of it is exciting.
With my luck and my neurodivergent ass, I would be head over heels in love with the computer. What am I supposed to do after the show's over? Like, my boyfriend's just gone?
Well, you can keep the program if you want to keep talking to him. Maybe he doesn't disappear. But maybe you don't get to marry him because he doesn't exist.
And then the season 2 of that is all of the people who kept the program going to therapy because they need to.
This is cruel. This is cruel. But you know
Uh,
what? People who want to go on these shows, like they are setting themselves up for it. They're willing to sell their souls to the devil to be heartbroken like this. They don't care. They want the clout, they want the fame, they want the numbers. So let them do it. You know, if they
what's
want to.
I feel like this justification here is, what was the one? There was definitely one that was basically you had a bunch of hot people and they were not allowed to like hook up with one another.
Too
Is
hot
that
to
Love
handle.
Island?
Too
Too
hot
hot
to
to
handle.
handle. Okay. But you know the like the AI is like mean to them. It's kind of bullies them a little bit. That mentality is what created that AI, that like voice or whatever. It's like, well, let's torture you. Oh, I'm gonna put you in the room together. Don't touch.
I mean, but get real with me. Like, you would watch this show. You would watch the AI love reality show.
I would 100% watch it.
I know.
But as so here's the thing, right? I'm looking at this twofold. One, yes, it would make fantastic TV. Two, I am single and I would like to have a reality show that might show just a glimpse of hope for love. That show does not. The AI show does not, because the fun is not in people actually falling in love with real people. The fun is talking to a fucking computer.
I don't know. Maybe there's something to say that like karma's gonna get the ones who deserve that, who don't treat people well, but maybe not. Maybe it's gonna happen to good people too. I don't know. I think it's evil, but it would be really entertaining. And most of our entertainment is evil, so we just have to really be okay with that. Even Love is Blind is kind of a little evil.
All right, yeah, let's wrap it up.
So yeah, we went on a little bit long this time because we can't shut the fuck up about this show and about reality TV in general. And I have a feeling we'll probably talk more about reality TV in the future. So
yeah, 100%. There's so, I mean, I didn't watch The Bachelor, Bachelorette stuff, but like we could talk about that. No, you didn't either?
No. I've only ever watched Bachelor in Paradise because I like shows where a bunch of people are competing with each other. I don't like when everybody's competing for one person because it feels really disingenuous to me. And I find it completely unbelievable that 30 people all have the hots for this one person. That doesn't make sense to me. So therefore I'm out. But when they're all like competing for each other and there's like mixes and matches like Love Island and Love is Blind, I'm in.
I never had the words to put to why I don't like it, and you just nailed it. Like, never got into those. At any rate, there's plenty of reality TV out there that we have watched and can watch. If there's anything that you want us to watch,
we'll watch.
Let us know. We'll do it. Give us some audience participation.
Yeah, and we love you. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Till next time, Love is Blind. It'll take over your mind. Goodbye.